Baton Rouge is a city of roots, both historical and natural. Nearly half of its structures were built over 50 years ago.
Many of these structures are abandoned and overgrown. Locals don't bat an eye at them, but to those from out of town, they stick out like sore green thumbs. Emma Klinke is a biological scientist research assistant at LSU.
So mostly I'm just greenhouse management, but on the other side of it, I do a lot of research. So any of the plants we collect, we work with invasive and non-invasive species.
She's from a small industrial town outside of Lake Charles named Sulphur. There aren't a lot of abandoned places except for abandoned petrochemical plants.
It's the ones that are not being used anymore. They kind of just sit and rust, and then they build a new one across the street from it.
But she's never seen overgrowth like she's seen here.
Certain trees around Baton Rouge can destroy concrete in just a few months.
LSU horticulture agent Albert Hammett specializes in clearing overgrown properties.
All plants are just opportunistic. With something like this, ferns are spread by spores, not seeds, but the spores can fly through, travel through the air, travel through water, and if they find a hospitable place to call home, they'll start to grow.
One of the fastest growing of these plants is the paper mulberry tree, second only to the Chinese tallow. Some people use them for decoration. Although it's non-invasive, it grows anywhere, even in gutters and roofs.
Paper mulberry is a very popular one that we see.
Klinke is all too familiar with this and other types of invasive species.
So like a lot of invasive species are actually better equipped, better acclimated to the environment than a lot of the native species. And so whenever they come in, they immediately outcompete a lot of the native species. Like they just do not have a chance.
And Hammett has to clear these plants to make way for development.
Unfortunately, a lot of times we do have to use chemical measures to reclaim a property. There are some natural ways. My favorite is burning.
The overgrowth makes work harder for community activist Byron Washington.
Sometimes we do have to deal with those issues where it's certain invasive trees that literally just tear up the foundation, and so we have to go through the forestry department.
Washington is a member of the city's Historic Preservation Council. It's a group that works to preserve buildings before they are too far gone. So far, he's helped save about 15 structures from destruction, but he can't save them all.
We try to follow the rules from the federal guidelines on down. Roughly, it has to be a place that's about at least 50 years old.
I mean, if you're going to restore a home, I don't understand like what the point would be unless you're going to turn it into a museum or you're going to make it like an actual historical marker.
Community Revitalization Director Marley Pittman is using a three-pronged approach to address the issue now, not later.
One, to actually create a proactive strategy where we're surveying properties, not just waiting for complaints to come in so that we can address things at the root and we can address things holistically. Working with small local businesses, particularly diverse women, veterans, and Black-owned businesses to do the work in their own neighborhoods. And third, do things on a recurring basis so that we can kind of clean the slate and make our neighborhoods better and ready for the revitalization we know needs to come.
This approach is a part of a $4.5 million blight initiative that uses federal money.
We hope that everyone joins us in seeing the potential that this core part, this historic part of Baton Rouge has, and believes in the progress we're making.
Klinke thinks that no matter where the people go, the plants aren't going anywhere.
Sometimes the only option is to move and to leave the house vacant. Nobody's going to want to buy said house unless it's either fixed up or demolished. Plants don't need external forces. We just decided that they do. So we chose to take care of it and put it in a little pot with less soil and nutrients than it needs because it's inside. So therefore, we have to take care of it in a natural environment. It doesn't need it.
Reporting for Tiger TV, I'm Kiersten Volion.